Kratos was not born a god. He was born into blood and iron, into Sparta. In that ruthless city, strength was the only virtue, and weakness was a death sentence. From a young age, he was forged in combat, trained not to feel, not to question, only to obey. He rose through the ranks as a fierce and loyal soldier, feared by his enemies and respected by his brothers in arms. But the battlefield has no mercy, and one day, death stood at his throat. Desperate and broken, Kratos made a deal that would damn his soul forever. He called upon Ares, the god of war, and begged for salvation. Ares granted his wish, and cursed his life. The blades of chaos were seared into his flesh, symbols of servitude, weapons of destruction. With them, Kratos became more than a man. He became death incarnate. Ares unleashed him like a storm across lands and kingdoms, burning villages, toppling empires. But gods are cruel. In a sick twist of fate, Ares led Kratos to slaughter his own wife and daughter. Their blood stained his hands, their ashes clung to his skin, marking him forever as the ghost of Sparta. That moment shattered him. He tore his chains not just from his wrists, but from the gods themselves. Haunted by guilt, Kratos set out on a path of vengeance. He would not ask for forgiveness, he would rip it from the heavens. One by one, the Olympian gods fell to his fury. Poseidon, Hades, Helios, Hermes, even Athena, the only god who ever showed him mercy, could not stop him. And finally, Zeus, father of gods and monsters, was brought down by the very son he feared. Olympus crumbled, but victory brought no peace. Only silence. Only emptiness. Kratos vanished, leaving behind the ruins of his wrath. He traveled north, seeking exile in the frozen realms of Midgard, far from gods and men. There, he hid his blades, his past, his name. But rage does not die. It waits. It watches. It whispers. And fate is never done with those who defy it. Years passed, and from the darkness came something he had never known, hope. He became a father once more. Atreus. A boy born not of war, but of something softer. Something Kratos did not understand. Love. And so, his war began anew, not against gods or monsters, but against himself. How can a man who has only ever known death teach life? How can he protect a child when he can barely control his own shadow? But Midgard had its own gods. Thor. Odin. Creatures of prophecy and pride. And as their world collided with his, Kratos was forced to become what he feared most, a god again. Not by blood, but by choice. He fought not for vengeance, but for his son's future. For a chance to break the cycle. Kratos is not a hero. He never was. He is a weapon forged by betrayal, tempered by loss, and dulled by time. But maybe, just maybe, he can become something more. Not a god. Not a monster. Just a father. And maybe that is the most powerful thing he has ever.